Hi, my name is Maggie, and I am a beloved child of God, and so are you. So I'm wearing my Halloween costume today because we're getting ready for Halloween. Do you have a costume for this Halloween? Or something special that you get to do with your family? I know it's really hard this year. Well, one of the things that my family likes to do is we read books for Halloween. We have all kinds of Halloween books that we read. We read them all year long. And one of our favorites is called Alice and Greta. I want to share it with you today because, number one, I just think it's a cool Halloween book, but also it is a good reminder and helps us think about how we can choose to be the people we want to be and that Jesus wants us to be. Once, a long time ago, two witches lived on top of a mountain. Although they both looked out at the same view, they saw things differently. Alice's outlook, like her clothes, was always rosy. Greta, on the other hand, was always on the lookout for trouble. She dressed in poison green, a color she liked to think was as putrid as her personality. Oh, how different Alice and Greta were. Alice and Greta had known each other ever since they were little witches at Miss Mildred Mildew's School of Magic. There, they had learned the same spells, the same curses, the same chants, and the same brews. They just used their magic differently. Whereas Alice's spells were simply enchanting, Greta's were deviously diabolical. Greta never did her homework and often didn't listen in class. She was misbehaving as usual the day they learned the most important lesson of all. The boomerang principle. Whatever you chant, whatever you brew, sooner or later comes back to you. Time passed, and before long it was graduation day. Alice and Greta flew off into the world to weave their magic spells and work their witchery. One day Alice was flying high above the seashore when she spotted a sailboat stranded on a sandbar. She waved her wand in circles high above her head and whispered, "Come now, moon, and turn the tide. Take this family for a ride." A huge wave rushed toward the boat and lifted it safely off the sandbar. The family waved their thanks. On the other side of the world, Greta was using the same spell, just a little differently. She saw some children building a sandcastle on a beach. They had worked for hours on the towers and tunnels and moat. Just as they finished, Greta waved her wand in circles high above her head and whispered, "Come now, moon, and turn the tide. Take this castle for a ride." An enormous wave crashed high on the beach, sweeping the castle into the sea. "Ah ha ha!" Greta cackled. Then she disappeared into a cloud as the children ran crying to their mothers. Meanwhile, Alice had come upon a small boy in a field calling for his lost puppy. Alice knew what to do. She waved her wand and chanted, "Alakazam, Alakazir, puppy dog, reappear." A sheepdog pup bounded out of the woods and into the grateful boy's arms. Alice smiled and was on her way. At that moment, Greta was busy being a bad sport. She had passed a school soccer team playing for the league championship. As one girl was about to kick a goal, Greta waved her wand and chanted, "Alakazam, Alakazir, soccer balls, disappear." Not only the girls' ball, but every ball on the field disappeared. The puzzled players searched until dark, but they couldn't find a single ball to finish the game. Everyone went home, perplexed and disappointed. Greta snickered and flew home to her cave, delighted with her dirty work. The next day, Greta was sipping her morning cup of pond slime. She was bored. It was time to stir up trouble. But where? She tossed a few things into the cauldron. When the smoke cleared, she peered into the brew and muttered, "Time to brew, time to bubble, time to stir up nasty trouble." In the boiling potion, she saw a school playground and children happily playing. Greta jumped on her broom and flew off in search of the school. Within minutes, she arrived at the same scene that had appeared in her cauldron. Rubbing her hands with delight, Greta said, "The children are so sweet, but I can make them even sweeter." She waved her wand at the fluffy clouds overhead and cackled, "Icky, yicky, gloppy gloop. Clouds spill down my sticky soup." With a crash and a flash, the fluffy clouds overhead rained down millions of melting marshmallows onto the children. At first, the children were delighted, but as soon as they realized they were stuck in the gooey, sticky marshmallow mess, they called for help. Greta just laughed and laughed. Alice heard their cries and appeared from behind a cloud. But before she could lift a wand to help, Greta spotted her. "Oh, no, you don't!" she yelled and pointed her wand at Alice. "Icky, sticky, gloppy glue, another sweetie for the stew." A million more marshmallows fell on Alice. Before she knew it, she and her broomstick were pulled to the ground and stuck fast in an icky, sticky mess. She was helpless, unable to lift her magic wand. Alice struggled, desperate to think of what to do. Then she remembered something she had learned in school. She looked hard at Greta and said these words, "Whatever you chant, whatever you brew, sooner or later comes back to you." Nothing happened. So Alice added a little spell of her own. "Make it sooner, not too late. Help me now, I just can't wait." With that, the marshmallows lifted off Alice and the children and landed flop on top of Greta. The children crowded around Alice and cheered. To this day, Alice lives in her cave on the hill, where the view just keeps getting better and better. And for now, Greta is stuck learning something she should have learned long ago. The end. I hope you enjoyed that Halloween book, Alice and Greta, by Stephen J. Simmons and illustrated by Sid Moore. It's lots of fun, and I think it's a good way to think about how we want to be. Do you want to be like an Alice, or do you want to be like a Greta? Because what you do and the way you treat people, it matters. In the book, they talk about the boomerang principle, where anything you do comes back to you. And I'm not necessarily sure if it's true that things actually come back to you like that, but I do know that if you have love and joy and you work in love and joy and spread it around the world, then you will feel love and joy. This Sunday we'll be hearing our second lesson is from the letter of 1 John, and the author says, "See what love the Father has given us, that we should be called children of God, and that is what we are." So it's wonderful to think that you have been given all of this love and that you are a child of God. And it means that you have an imaginary cross upon your head and you get to walk around and know that you are loved. And so what you do with that love is you take it and you share it with other people and you let other people know and feel that they are loved and that you can see God's image in them. So from Samuel and Maggie, We hope that you guys have a very happy Halloween, and please know that we love you. Take care.